in this meta. I feel like I never know what he's going to bring anymore. He used to be so famous, so world-renowned for his Lalo, but these days he mixes it up quite a bit.
And you know what? I bet that's exactly what he likes. He wants his opponents to not be able to design bases that can try to trip him up. If he can do anything, then all of his other teammates get to pick their preferred bases as well. He may not be putting on those fireworks shows. He may not be, you know, the beauty pageant queen, but he is putting down solid, quick 3 stars in an easy and reliable fashion. It's going to be not the style points that we'd seen in the past from him every single time, but let's see how he takes care of this next base. Mr. Adil on defense has got to be worried about what's coming up against him next. This Navi Stars player just does not miss. Stars, one of the highest hit rates among any competitive player in the scene. Right now, and man, when those eyes just lock onto your base, it is like a laser beam has just like hit its target.
Indeed, and he's so famous for also being able to recover on the fly when things go wrong. He's bringing the dragons today. I think I saw a spiky ball. I think I saw a giant arrow. Probably the giant arrow going to be used in tandem with the 3 lightning spells and the earthquake. Let's see.
Nice.
I think he gets, okay, the monolith and the poison tower right away with those extra spells.
Nice shots. Doesn't hit either of the air sweepers, and that's kind of an interesting tech choice for him to have to go with there. It means that he'll have to either freeze or get them all into overgrowth for these dragons to not get pushed around. They hate having to get slowed down by air sweepers. Prevents them from getting 3 stars sometimes, but especially when time is a factor too, he does not want to have to deal with that. Pops the Eternal Tome, and he's going to let the air sweepers start to push up against him. I'm starting to wonder if he had intended to take down that left side air sweeper with the giant arrow. What do you think, Lex?
I feel like probably he's going to go ahead and overgrowth it now. That's going to help a ton. No battle blimp on this attack. He chose battle blimp on this attack. He chose to go with the siege barracks for all that extra damage, but this is getting a little risky because he's going to save the town hall for last. Most of his dragons the core are dying. We still got 2 dragons up top with the Grand Warden, the Royal Champion, and an army of super minions behind her with a couple of spells. Maybe this is okay.
Okay.
But I think this is slowing down a little bit. He might be fine. Double freeze and a rage there to finish.
Yeah. Dumps the rest of his troops as well, and that is going to be the 3-star. The dragons have just been obliterated, but heroes are holding the fort. And in this case, it's going to be another 3-star strike for Navi. Stars comes through, and that average time at 1 minute and 15 is going to stay in their favor with another quick strike. Does slightly increase the average attack time with tied for the slowest hit right there alongside Yada at that 80-second mark. But that is going to be enough to keep them comfortably in the lead now, and I think that they are going to be very happy going into the next round.
Yes, indeed. And even though that was slower than most of his teammates, it was still right on par with the fastest attacks from Marcos Esports. So Navi is still in such a commanding position as we enter the final round of attacks here. Tanwar, at this point, I don't know what the exact total time difference is, but it might be
34 seconds.
34 seconds. Okay, so it's still doable. Marcos Esports still might want to go with the play here of the quickest attack possible, but at the end of the day, it might just come down to Klaus.
Yeah, I don't think that they can expect to beat Klaus on time. I think I mean, but what else can they do? At this point, they need to put a 3-star up on the board, and it just needs to be as fast as possible. There is, I guess, a small sliver of hope that you could hope that there's a miss from Klaus, that somehow he gets a 2-star or a 1-star hit, and that just going for the slow 3-star is the safer way to try to execute this war. But I think that Tanwar has probably got a plan already in mind to try to get the quickest possible 3-star strike. And even though 34 seconds is probably too much to overcome, it is still possible also to get a really slow hit from Klaus if something really goes wrong with his last strike. So let's hold out hope for Tanwar that these Electro Dragons, slow as they may be, can lumber through this space. Pole Dragons would be the quickest equipment yet on those heroes, but expecting with that Invis spell going down that we are going to see another giant fireball. There it goes. My goodness.
Look at all that
humanity,
damage.
Lexos.
The fireball not only takes out the monolith, but it takes out the clan castle building, and that is huge. So he doesn't even bring a poison spell because of that, and he doesn't have to spend time fighting ice golems. That could be a big difference maker. Now we're utilizing the Grand Warden's Rage Gem to give the King and the Queen bonus damage, as we don't have his Eternal Tome anymore. The Battle Blimp from the left side of the base, just to get a Super Dragon out there, clear the corner, hopefully fight the Archer Queen, and then we're just going to start dropping rocket balloons all around the base from every single angle.
Yeah, Rage Gem, a very fun tech choice here to use for that Grand Warden, supporting the heroes and giving them even more DPS. You don't have to worry about a life gem if you just destroy everything in your path. And that is what Klaus is aiming to do here. The 2 stars have been secured within the first minute, and he is looking to finish off the rest of this base. He's scratching his head, just saying, is there anything left I need to do? I don't think so. Drops a couple extra spells just because why not? And that is it, Lex. 3 stars scored for Klaus, and Navi advance to the grand final. Marcos Esports kicked down to the lower bracket.
Navi Klaus, 71-second attack. He is not afraid of pressure. He eats it for breakfast. He shows up, he gets it done. He didn't even smile or pump fist or nothing. It was just another day in the office for him. He makes it look so easy. Navi already with a silver ticket, going on to the grand finals, and just 2 other teams remaining in the lower bracket, which means they are going to be fighting for the silver ticket in the next match.
Right, you are, Lex. And we've seen 20 attacks today, every single one of them a 3-star hit. This is another perfect v perfect war that has just got to have those poor base builders shaking their heads, wondering what more can be done. Offense is so incredibly overpowered right now that there just doesn't seem to be any opportunity to deny quick, heavy-handed strikers from getting those 3 stars as often as they like. And if this is going to be the story for the World Championships to come, expect to see lots of tie-break matches coming down to
he wants a chance to beat them, they're going to have to really step up their attacks and being quicker. What about you, Itsu? What did you think of that match for Navi now making it to the grand finals?
Yeah, I mean, it was just really impressive to watch. We had so many good attacks, and especially again, Kazuma coming in with the clutch fireball play there as well, one of the quickest attacks there. And by now I can I feel like, especially since only Kazuma, or mainly Kazuma, is playing that on the Navi lineup as well, I feel like it's not that easy to spot those plans that quickly, because remember, this is not your classic clan war where you have those 24 hours to plan and do your attacks. This is just really short notice, and at the same time making sure that you're supporting your teammates, making sure everyone has a plan, what is the attacking order looking like and everything. So really big props to him, because he seems to be one of the few players who's able to pull this off in the current meta quite consistently with this really impressive success, Woody.
Yeah, this is a metagame that is built for Navi. Navi is a set of consistent, creative attackers that know how to demolish a base in record time. And when offense is so heavily favored in terms of who gets the win, it's not about the base building style that can, try to stifle Navi. It's about who gets the quicker attacks. And Navi just does not miss, and they do not leave any time on the board, Lex.
Yeah, and another thing to point out is I feel like it's so hard to build against a team like Navi because they might do 1 or 2 or 3 Root Rider attacks, but how do you even try to build against a Kazuma fireball, rocket balloon from every single angle kind of plan? It just feels impossible.
Yeah, it's very difficult, but what we're going to do is I'm now going to break down Kazuma's attack here and describe to you how does this come through in this attack. So first, before we play this, I want to break it down. The plan here is to be using the fireball for this section right here, the multi-target inferno, which then helps grab a scatter shot, the expo. The queen is going to have her arrow come from the top side to try to fly through. This is the original plan, this red line here, but Kazuma's arrow is actually going to fly through this side, so the monolith doesn't end up actually going down. You'll see towards the end of the deck when he takes out the poison spell. But also an additional thing is Kazuma has a baby dragon that is placed here so he can then funnel his heroes into the base like this. So let's go ahead and play it and talk through as he drops his fireball. So first, he's gonna drop the invises to help direct the fireball right through here. So he's gonna take some time. We have the siege barracks down here, the baby dragon set in the funnel just like that. And there is, oh, I'll fix that there, as we have that warded fireball now going through here, going landing, and then this is where he tried to do the earthquakes to help take out the monolith, but the arrow just went off to the left side, so he wasn't able to grab that. But now we have P.E.K.K.A.s coming through here, going to be able to help grab this bottom side. We have a king coming up here, so the P.E.K.K.A.s from that siege barracks help set that funnel as he's continuing his way through, and the queen continues with the rage from the healer puppet, and now it's just sprinkling these rocket loons to move across the base around and then just end on that town hall to help take that down. So that arrow through the base gets some nice value, but the fireball essentially takes out that first compartment so that he can just sprinkle these balloons around. And don't forget to drop your minions. If you don't drop the minions till later, then it's going to be slower in terms of cleanup. And one thing he could have done, he could have made this king invisible in the end so that the minions would not have targeted him to even speed it up even quicker. So Kazuma's attack, yes, it was very quick, but it could have even been faster if he hit that giant arrow, if he made that king invisible. But still, nonetheless, great performance from Navi, and they are advancing to the grand finals. They already have a silver ticket, so now they can lay everything out on the line and go for that golden ticket, as we are going to see the next match to come, Marcos Esports take it on Pulse Gaming. The winner of that will guarantee themselves a silver ticket here, Itsu.
That is correct. And the difference just between the second and third place and then between the second and the first place is just so massive, because this is just always the difference of either no or the silver ticket or the silver or the golden ticket, because those tickets mean just so much more prize money in later stages of this tournament with the last chance qualifier, and then having the chance as well to make it to the finals, the grand finals of the Clash Worlds event later this year, which means there is on top of that even more prize money. So this is why those golden tickets and why the difference between the third, second, and first seed is just so massive, Woody.
Yeah. And I think that the most important takeaway that I would say for Navi's performance, especially watching that attack from Kazuma, is that they are great strategists. I think we talk a lot during the match itself about the picture perfect placement, the perfect pixel, the perfect second of getting those deploys down, but that's all tactical. That's all execution level planning. And so I think the most important thing that we saw from Kazuma last time is just the ideas that he's able to generate on multiple different fronts, looking at any base to just deconstruct it. Carbon, you made a really great point there that the giant arrow was intended to go for the monolith right into the core of the base, but even when he misses there, he's able to adapt on the fly. It's like he's got 8 eyes, 8 hands, Doctor Strange in the chat here, doing everything he can to tear this base down as quick as possible, and he did a great job at it. You got to see a little bit of a preview there. We're going to have Tryhard coming in for an interview just in a couple of minutes, but Lexnos, before we do that, let's go over to you and take your final thoughts on that last base breakdown.
Yeah, it is really fun to see from Kazuma, and I think that plan, even though we agree that it takes a lot more extra time to come up with a sort of plan like that, it is still versatile in a lot of ways, because I think most of the planning just comes down to the fireball, the giant arrow, deciding where you're going to use your siege machine, your barbarian king, and all the rocket balloons and stuff. He's just kind of winging it on the fly wherever he thinks the defenses around the base need to be sniped. He doesn't spend too much time probably planning out those details.
Yeah, it was a great job there from Kazuma. But now, as we just quickly saw, Woody, we got an interview with none other than Tryhards. Take it away.
Thank you very much, Carbon Finn, and I am so pleased to be joined by one of the greatest pro players on the scene right now, representing Milliceme MG, hot off of their golden ticket win last month. We have Tryhard. Tryhard, how are you doing today, sir?
Hey, Woody. Thanks for having me. I'm doing well, very well today.
Well, thanks very much for joining us. I know you're watching these matches, very excited to find out who your competition will be at the end of the year. Your team has earned their spot in the World Championship, but you've got a couple of tough opponents already with Synchronic and VM Legacy. What are you making of this month's competition? Do you expect it'll be Navi going to the grand finals to join you at the end of the year?
I think so. I think Navi are on the good way to win. They are very good when they come to the final stages of tournaments, and they play very well under pressure. So yeah, I think they will make it.
Okay, well, if they've got a good chance at making it, that means that you're going to be playing against them again later this year. What is your team doing in the months between earning that golden ticket and the World Championship to prepare?
To be honest, this month we took a lot of rest. We chilled a bit, but as soon as possible we start to prepare for World Championship, World Finals. We will have a lot of work. We will see if we play on the hard mode or not. A lot of things to figure out, and yeah, that's it.
Well, we've seen already there's a lot to keep in mind when you're going up against a team like Navi. They're very creative, and I don't want to keep this interview all about them, but I'm wondering, is Milliceme MG going for consistency? Is that the key to victory? Or do you guys sit back now and try to come up with a never before seen strategy that can just completely shake the grounds of Clash of Clans right now and give us something that we could have not expected?
Yeah, to be honest, it's always the goal to come with new strategies, something that nobody thought of, and we will try. It's not easy to find new things to bring into the game, but yeah, we will definitely try to bring new things and to surprise our opponents.
We'll have our fingers crossed for you. Tryhard, I know, because I saw this over on X, that this is the first time in many years where you've had a chance to sit back and watch a World Championships finals. You already have your golden ticket. What are you thinking right now? Is that a boost of confidence for your team that you picked it up early on and that you could have this opportunity this year to become world champions?
It's amazing to qualify not that early, but in the third position. It's giving fresh air for the rest of the year, and we can start to think for later things and the finals in the next month. So yeah, it was amazing. The feeling is amazing.
Well, let's set aside the competitive elements of Clash of Clans for a little while. I think that we've broken down that quite a bit. We're about to wrap up the interview, but I want to give you a minute just as a person,